What can I do with all this anger? Firstly, I would say, do you know the truth about anger? I presume you don't, or you wouldn't be here asking this question. We are human beings. God created us in His image with free will and awareness of our being. This, this creates likes and dislikes and comes with an array of human emotions that can be very tricky to navigate. Whether you are 2 years old or 62 years old, it doesn't matter. We are all subjected to an array of big, scary emotions. But what if your emotions are not as scary as you think? What if it's all part of God's plan, and if you are experiencing anger, it is a sign to guide you back to love, back to God's connection? Like I said at the beginning, we are human, and a big part of being human is experiencing emotions and thinking. Our emotions and thoughts are two sides of the same coin, a gift from God so we can experience life. The way we perceive circumstances comes from our thinking, which then creates a feeling or a multitude of feelings, and thus we act from there. The equation would be something like this: thought plus feeling equals action. When an angry thought pops into our minds, it creates an angry feeling, causing our behaviour to act aggressively. And what tends to happen today is we are told something is wrong with us and we must learn to manage our anger. Whilst managing anger is indeed a good idea, it is not sustainable. Also, simply feeling angry doesn't mean there is something wrong with us. Understanding the truth behind all human emotion will create sustainable change to your human experiences beyond recognition. The truth is, we are always feeling our thinking in the moment. When we continuously guide ourselves back to the truth of who we are, we begin to realize that all emotions are a gift from God. See my previous audio, How Can I Know Who I Am? A brief description of who you are. You are a child of God, a child of love. The characteristics of love is patient, kind, and gentle. Simply looking in the direction of love softens your heart and mind. With the power of the Holy Spirit, God, you will be moved into a clearer and calmer headspace where you'll be able to distinguish your human emotions with the voice of God and reason. So, what can I do with all this anger? You can give it some love and you can give it to God. If you are feeling an extreme amount of anger, you can remind yourself, most likely when you're calm, not while you're angry, you can remind yourself that the feeling alone cannot hurt you. The feeling of anger is a normal part of being human. The feeling of anger is coming from angry thoughts in that moment, and the feeling of anger will pass. Look to God, look to love, and you will notice that you feel angry less, or that you spend less time in the feeling of anger. The goal isn't to get rid of anger, because that's not possible. God gave us all emotions, and we cannot eliminate any of them. We can only begin to understand them. Using coping mechanisms like counting to 10 every time you feel angry may work 1, 3, or 5 times, but it may not work on the 6th time. And so that isn't totally helpful either. And that's sort of a way to manage your anger. When we are calm and things are good before we have that feeling of anger, it's important to nurture yourself, your emotions, with love and kindness, and with the truth of who you are, with the truth of where you actually come from and who you are. When we do this, we give ourselves space and permission to feel our emotions without judgment or fear. This allows the feelings to pass through us naturally and much quicker. God never intended us to stay in one feeling for too long, especially a feeling of anger that can cause so much death and destruction in this world. Making God or love your joyous focus is not escapism. Quite the opposite, in fact. Making God your focus point strengthens you and gives you the courage to cope with the difficulties of your life. The more persistently you look to love and God, the more effective and joyful your life will be, especially during hardship. Thank you so much for listening, and please stay tuned for my upcoming audios. Email me on soul-mentoring@outlook.com with any questions you may have.